Hi, kids. So this is fun. I'm having a good time doing this. So I think this works out really well where we just kind of jump over to the other from one to the other. But I'm only going to be on for about a half hour because Greg actually has a meeting that he has to attend to. So we're going to jump right in. This is only going to be questions about the reading that I did over on now I've got the vertical on my extra screen. This is only going to be on questions about Harry and Meghan and their business predictions. So I will get some lives in this week for questions for you guys, and I do need to do a live for my membership because I do give away a free reading every month to my membership. So hi Samantha, I see you, baby. So let's buckle up, Buttercup. So let's do this. And Zeph dropped the portrait live. We do have a few people over in the vertical. I'm going to try and answer all of the questions here and there. So let's get going, kids. Let me make sure this is nice and big for you. I'm actually going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm nice and tiny, but let's answer some questions. So I've got one on the table from Anne Boleyn. Let me see if anybody else dropped any questions. If you want to drop questions about the production video about Harry and Meghan's business ventures, please, please, please put them all in caps. I won't think that you're really yelling at me. We're going to start out with Anne Boleyn. Or A Boleyn. Sorry, not Anne Boleyn. It's A Boleyn. So is that Victoria Jackson going to continue fund Meghan's endeavors? So apparently Victoria Jackson has been quite supportive of Meghan's endeavors. So Victoria Jackson was the entrepreneur that started the no makeup look back, I think in the 80s. I think it actually was in the 80s that she did that. But if she is one of Meghan's benefactors, so be it. So we're going to do about 20 minutes here, guys, and then I'm going to shut this down. And I will be live on Hypsee all day today. I already have some booked readings. I already have some recorded reading requests. So I'm going to get as many people done as possible. Hypsee is an instant app. It's like Uber for psychics. It's kind of like that. And you can book an immediate instant reading with me. It can be phone, chat, video, or you can book recorded readings on there as well. So very similar to what I do on Calendly, except it's instant. You don't have to stay on for the whole hour. So you can jump in, ask a real quick question, and tra-la-la with your day. So let's go. Is Victoria Jackson going to continue to fund Meghan's endeavors? Let's start with what is Victoria Jackson's situation. Victoria Jackson, yes, she's an investor. She is not funding Meghan's endeavors, but she's actually an investor. And she's trying to help Meghan nurture and grow that business. What are the pros of that? The pros, Two of Cups, I think they're very similar in personality. I don't know anything about Victoria Jackson, but I think this card says they're very similar in personality and ambition. Let's put it that way. What about the cons to this relationship? The cons, Three of Pentacles, they're going to need another person in there. I think, once upon a time, Meghan said something about, I think she was in an interview and she said, everyone would have expected me to go into fashion or beauty. I think we may see a turn into beauty here. We may see her do something with beauty. Is she going to try and invigorate? Is the cooperative relationship between her and Victoria Jackson, is it going to be to invigorate Victoria Jackson's line and have Meghan be the no makeup gal? Five of Swords. They're trying to figure out like a new line for her trying to figure out a new line. Temperance, they're not going to drop this right away. 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, those are wands. I do think that this is going to take a little bit longer to get off the ground. You know why? Because there's a lot of sour feelings. Hi, Gigi. Glad you're here. Glad you're making a live. So I'm going to be more consistent. I think I'm probably going to be going live like every day for the rest of, or every weekday for the rest of the year. I really want to give you guys as much attention as possible. So I think with the whole situation with Meghan's father right now, it's a little tricky for them to start a new makeup line. It probably will see this about a year from now. Wheel of Fortune, they're going to let the dust settle on this, and then possibly a year from now, they will try and do a collab together, some kind of annoying collab. So let's get another question. And there we go. Abo Lynn, throwing the questions down. Love it. I got your other one about Meghan's father. So we'll talk about that too. A lot of drama over there. Apparently Thomas Markle Sr. is doing a bit better. He's been moved out of ICU and he is feeling somewhat better. Not great. Obviously, it's going to be a long road of recovery. We have heard that straight from Thomas Markle Jr. And my cards confirmed that there's going to be a bit of recovery there. Thanks, guys. This is a great community. Samantha Mustard, you are fantastic. That's Mustard Mischief. Her name's Samantha. So if Harry loses his titles, how will it affect their businesses? I love that you guys are loving this format. The Sun. That is an interesting card because that says that it is going to benefit their businesses. How so? How is Harry losing their titles benefiting their businesses? The Hangman. You know what? This is going to be like a feel bad for it's not going to be long lived. It will be, oh, they're so hard done by. They don't have any support from the royal family. And now they're off on their own, blah, 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 blah. So I think that for a short period of time, we're going to see some increases of production, increases of sales, increases of attention on their businesses, but it's not going to be sustainable because it's just not going to yield the results that will make them happy. This King of Cups in reverse, it's just not going to make them happy. The revenue that they're going to get coming in. Magician in reverse, Judgment, and 5 of Wands. We're going to see a lot of struggle over this. The 5 of Wands is really a struggle card, and we're going to see some struggles over this because they're going to be pointing fingers at each other. They are going to be pointing fingers at each other. It didn't work because you did this. It didn't work because you said this. It didn't work because this happened. That's what we're going to be seeing. And that's really unfortunate that they're going to be kind of blaming each other for the failure of it instead of blaming the foundations of those businesses, because that's really where the failure is. I've always said they should have started small. They shouldn't have come back here, gilded and blazing. They should have come back like, hey, we're in regular sweatpants and we're just gonna do what we're gonna do and see how it works. We're gonna relearn how to be regular people. Harry, getting a driver's license, that kind of thing. Hi, TD. Good to see you here. So that's really, I think, what's going to happen. It's just if they lose their titles, we're going to see a flare up for a hot minute. I'm not leaving yet, guys. I just want to make this big. If they lose their titles, we're going to see a flare up of people being sympathetic and, supporting their businesses. We see this with MLMs all the time. The MLM format, multi-level marketing, which any of those, if you're on YouTube or Instagram, all of your high school friends are doing it. Oh, you've got to try this mascara. Oh, you've got to try this supplement. Oh, you've got to try this. The pitch initially is, hey, I just started my own business. Can you help me up? Can you help me, get to this goal? And I think if they lose their titles, we're going to have a modicum of a response like that. So let's see. What is our next question? Will the situation with Meghan's father and her reaction to that affect her business? Let's see. I don't see how it can. I don't see how it can't. So, Eight of Pentacles, you better work. Four of Wands. Eight of Swords. Queen of Wands. And one more card, Two of Pentacles. This is, and I hate to say it, there is an opportunity for her to capitalize on this. And guys, I'm going to try and get to all of the questions, but I'm only going to be on here until the bottom of the hour. So at 30, I got to jump off. I got to jump off because I got a few other things that I have to do today. So I've got some scheduled stuff on my plate. But I know you guys aren't going to like this. This is an opportunity for her to change the perspective. Will she do it? I don't know. I think she's already stepped in it when she said, well, I sent him an email. No one is checking their email in the hospital. No one is checking their email. Like I don't check my email on my phone. I hate checking my email on my phone. It's so annoying. And I really think that she has to make a much bolder move. Because she does not look warm and fuzzy. All the work that's been put in, she doesn't look warm and fuzzy. She doesn't look like a good person who really cares about, treating people and nurturing them and feeding them. She doesn't look like that right now. Releasing herself from that incongruence is what will make her a bit more warm and fuzzy. She just seems very inauthentic. So it's an opportunity. This is an opportunity for her to pivot. She talked about pivoting. This is an opportunity for her to pivot. What does she have to do to correct course? Let's just see one card. Knight of Swords. She's got to take back all of the horrible things that have come out of her mouth, including the book Spare, because I think she wrote that. So will Meghan see her father before he passes? This is going to be an ongoing question. This is a live question, guys. It is not going to be hard. And Dora, I got yours. Hang on. I got it. So is she going to see him before he passes? Has she changed her mind at this point? Judgment in reverse. She's still not going there, guys. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. And Six of Wands. She is doubling down on not going. Doubling down. But again, I want you guys to know this potentially could change. If she finds that there's some benefit to her changing this strategy, she may make a different decision. So let me see. And I am going to close the questions right now, guys. I'm going to close the questions. Like I said, I've got some things that I have to do. So questions are going to be closed for now. I got two more. I got Gigi's. Gigi, my cat is named Gigi. My little kitten. We named her Gigi. She was supposed to be Gandalf, and then we found out she was a girl. And then we tried to name her Galadriel, but it didn't work because it wasn't sticking. So Angus decided to call her Gigi because she was Gandalf and Galadriel. So I call her Gigi. Gigi. And her brother is named after Trevor Colt. Trevor Cat, MC, stands for mouse catcher. And he broke my lamp the other day. So had to buy a new lamp. Will Harry try and do more speaking gigs as a way of making money? What do we got? 9 of Pentacles. It doesn't look like people want him. 4 of Swords. He's getting a lot of, well, we'll let you know. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He doesn't bring any good counsel, any ideas. And he even said that at the real estate convention that he was at. He said, I'm not here to impart any information, or, he was just there. And the advertising for it was actually see Prince Harry. It wasn't ask Prince Harry about investing in real estate. There wasn't anything like that. It was see Prince Harry. Come see the goofy prince. Come see the goofy prince. So, I think having him at events is more valuable than having him speak at events. And that, I think, is a different price point. And I think it's something that he would not accept. Well, I don't want to do that unless I get up and get to touch the microphone. And psychically, I do think that Meghan would say, well, that's stupid. Why would you go there and not say anything to anyone? Why would you do that? Yeah. You should be speaking. You're a thought leader. She keeps telling him he's a thought leader. He's not a thought leader. Not a thought leader. So I think they're still advertising him as a thought leader and a speaker, but I think people are like, yeah, we don't want that. We don't exactly want that. That's not something that we exactly want. So, good question though. Good question. So, are the kids, Dora, hi Dora, are their kids growing up well and have a full life despite the drama going on in the house? So let's start with the first part of that. Are the kids growing up well? 2 of Swords in reverse. Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Wands in reverse, Emperor in reverse, 3 of Cups. So I think that they are being raised by staff. Now, those of you that have followed my channel for some time, that I had a nanny. And my parents were overdoing business in Europe for a healthy part of my high school career. My father retired, I think, when I was a senior in high school, and my mother retired right along with him. But at that point, they started traveling. They had some other things that they were doing, and all my siblings were all already at college. So, but I was in care of someone, and while my parents were doing business, it was very easy to kind of throw money at situations, keeping us in sports or music lessons or things like that, keeping us entertained in that fashion. So I think with that Knight of Pentacles, I do think that they are paying resources to care and contract and take care of those kids. Is it a robust experience of leadership? No. Is it cultivating good thinkers and excited individuals and good persons? No. 3 of Cups, I think their day is filled with joys. I don't think it's necessarily filled with problem solving and life skill management. I don't think they're necessary. I know they're little, but at some point you do have to learn life skill management. I mean, one of the things, like, my parents, we had a housekeeper, and the housekeeper, they would instruct us to clean our rooms at times. And hi, Elaine. It's cold here in New Jersey too. It was like 13 degrees when I got up this morning. I was glad I did not have to do any errands outside of the house. So there are certain things that you have to take care of yourself. And I think that these kids are not yet learning those tasks. I think they're still living with the royal privilege and the concept of royal privilege, because that is what Harry knows. And that is the concept that Meghan has created for her children. I think that is the lifestyle that she wants them to have. It can be a really detrimental lifestyle. It is not a good lifestyle to not have goals and obligations for your children if they're just kind of going shopping every single day. Not really fun. If they're just going to the park every day, not really the best thing. They should be cleaning and doing art projects or extended art projects where they work on a painting over 3 days. Those kinds of skills are really important for kids. And am I the best parent? Did I do all those things? No, I did not. My kids, have plenty of stuff to work on. But I think that they outsource a lot of their parenting. And I think a lot of their parenting is the fun stuff with Harry. So running around, kicking a ball in the yard, going swimming, all of that stuff. Whereas I think Meghan is the pseudo administrator of their parenting. I don't think that she is parenting in a practical sense, but more in an academic sense. And she's kind of, she purported in one of the interviews that all of her friends ask her for parenting advice. Well, I read a bunch of parenting books too. Parent Power, which was one of the most impactful, but not very practical in my life, because it was like, don't give your kids any toys. This is a very broad brush explanation of Parent Power, the book. Give them a cardboard box and crayons and let them create a dollhouse. Don't give them a dollhouse, that kind of thing, which I think is complicated. In a modern world, it is very hard to just say, you're going to build yourself a dollhouse. You're going to dream up a dollhouse and create it. Very exciting, very fun in the moment. But when you go over to your friend's house and they have the Barbie dream house with the elevator, it's a bummer. So guys, we are going to leave it at that. We're going to drop down the comments. And this is going to be the conclusion of our live, but we're going to do this again tomorrow. So I will have a production video tomorrow. Zephyr has already asked for Starmer. I may jump on that one. But it also may be one of the 2025 predictions. I may do my grading and then do my grading of my 2025 prediction and then come back on the live and do a live 2026 prediction. We'll go quarter by quarter like we always do. So that's how I like to do my predictions. We go quarter by quarter and we can look at the personal, business, relationship, however we have to look at it. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Zephyr just dropped the Hypsee link again, and I am going to be available on Hypsee all day today. I have some readings booked right now, and I've got one reading booked in about an hour, and then I have a regular reading that I'm doing, then another reading, and then I will be live on Hypsee. So give me just a little bit, and I will have that link up and ready to go. And I'll be ready for your questions on there. So again, it's live readings, or you can request a recorded reading from me. So I will see you guys real soon. Thanks so much for being here. Have an amazing rest of your morning or early afternoon. Bye for now.